Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be how to pick the right jig color depending on the situation. So before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that. So let's go ahead and start. I prefer to keep my color simple across the board for all my baits. Jigs are no exception. I get it done with 5 colors. That's pretty much how I do it. So quick rundown. I will have black and blue, green pumpkin, a brown, a Okeechobee craw, and then some kind of green pumpkin with orange or a chartreuse or something like that. Now that 5th color I'll also trade out sometimes for a peanut butter jelly. Just kind of something with some shock color in it. Your bright colors, your purple, chartreuse, orange, something like that. So we'll start with the most common. That's black and blue jig. So black and blue is good for your heavily stained dark water, your muddy, not much visibility. That's when you want the black and blue. And it seems to be kind of backwards, because you would think, why would they see this better in muddy water than something like this, something bright and flashy? Well, it's because in that dark water they can't really see colors, but what they see is the shadow almost. The black creates a big shadow of the bait, so it's the outline really. So they see just a mass. They don't really see much color to it. The blue, I think they do actually somewhat see that. I'm not too sure on that part, but I know that the black and blue is more of it's dark, so it contrasts the muddy water. So that's whenever you want black and blue, is your muddiest water, couple inches of visibility, 6 inches or so. But this will work a lot of other times too. Don't only use this whenever it's super muddy. If there's a foot of visibility, try this. Also, water clarity is also relative to where you fish. So if where you fish is consistently 2 foot of visibility, if where you fish is consistently 1 foot of visibility, 6 inches of visibility really isn't that. It's not that muddy, because it's only 6-inch difference. It's more stained. If 1 foot is your standard, 6 inches isn't that big of a change. Now if it just rained and it's blown out and there's 2 inches of visibility, then that's whenever it can, that's whenever you want to say, all right, now might be the time for this. But this will still work in a foot of visibility. Now, on the other hand, if your fishery has, on average, 4 foot, 5 foot of visibility, 1 foot of visibility is mud for that lake, but 1 foot might be clear for you. So it's all because the fish are all accustomed to their habitat. So keep that in mind. One person's clear might be another person's muddy, and the fish will adjust to that too. So black and blue, whenever your water is muddy. Green pumpkin. I like to have a green pumpkin whenever it is more clearish. Green pumpkin is mainly my cleaner water color. That's whenever I'm usually using this. If for me, so on average we get 1.5 foot of visibility on the main lake that I fish. Usually about 1.5 foot. So if it's around that 1.5 foot visibility, I'll usually pick up a green pumpkin if that's what I want. If it's 2 foot of visibility, if it's cleared up, maybe we're just getting out of the winter. This time of year it's usually Well, before the big rains and stuff and the storms, this year's kind of different. But usually when you come out of winter, the ice is melting off, your water usually cleans up a little bit, and you have that period between the winter breaking and the spring storms and rain coming, and that's whenever your lakes will blow out. But clearer water is a green pumpkin time. Brown. Brown is something I will use in the clear water also. If the water is good enough to throw green pumpkin, it's good enough to throw brown. If the water is just a little bit more stained where you're not too sure about green pumpkin, throw a brown. If the water is extremely clear, you can still throw brown. It's perfectly fine. Your tidal blue. So I like tidal blue more in a stained water condition. Maybe where it's getting where you could fish a brown jig, but maybe it's a little bit more on the stained end for a brown. That's when I like to pick up this. Now, if you like any of these jigs that I'm showing you, these are all Riot Mini Mod jigs. These are great jigs. Just real quick, I don't want to go too long on them because I've got videos where I go over these more. But they're really great jigs. They're a tungsten head. They're affordable for a tungsten. They're affordable jig wise, really. You consider most jigs you go buy at Bass Pro or wherever is about what, $3.70, $4. I think these are $5.99. So you're paying $2 more, but there's a lot of benefits to this jig other than just the tungsten head. So and besides that, these are just fish catchers. All jigs are, but these are really a step ahead. So again, just my flipping jigs basic. I go over these in some points. So if you want, check that video out. I'll put that up there, and also be in the description below, along with a link to Riot and the discount codes. 15% off for it. I won't say it because it's my last name. So just check out the description below. But like I said, more stained water. You can see this one's got some more black, and this is the Mini Maw. You compare that to this jig, and it's got a little bit. It doesn't have any black, and maybe it's a little bit brighter blue as well. Same way with this one. That one's got like some blue flake inside the blue. I don't have my football jig box, but some of them have got gold in it too, and that's another reason for those jigs. I wouldn't necessarily put gold in this, because what this also imitates is you can throw this in as clear water as you want. I kind of like this toned down blue for the clearer water. Maybe it's a little bit more stained. I might prefer the brighter blue, but if your lake or fishery, whether it's lake, pond, river, doesn't matter, if the main forage there is bluegill, or if bluegill is just a forage, that's what these look like also. So not only do these do well in stained water, but these will also do really well in clear water because they look like a bluegill. So next we'll go to my fifth color, and that's just any kind of green pumpkin with some flashy colors in it. This one's mainly all orange. It's got some brown, orange. You know, this one's got some green flake in there. There's no really green strands, but there's a lot of green flake in there. And then of course the orange. This one, you know, in my 3/8 I've got a little peanut butter jelly. Really, you can kind of do whatever you want with these. With this one, you don't have to have this one at all. You can also, if you wanted to, do this, which is a Missouri craw, which has got chartreuse, got some brown and black. Again, muddier water, real heavy stain. The chartreuse is nice in there. You can kind of do whatever you want with that fifth category. I recommend you having 5 or more, it doesn't matter, or less. Really, when it comes to jig color, all you need is your black and blue, your green pumpkin, and your brown. That's it. Those 3 will cover you. I I like to have my Okeechobee crawler Tidal Blue, and this is technically Tidal Blue. It's not just a Riot color. Riot has a color called Okeechobee Craw. They just don't have it in the jig yet. But this is, I really like to have this. And two reasons, like I said, bluegill, most of my fisheries are main forage is bluegill. And it's a big confidence color for me. That's another reason. And then, like I said before, it's nice to have something like this because it gives some flash. It's a natural color, but it's got just a little bit of a shock color. Kind of like a lot of guys throw a shock color on their floating worms. It's kind of the same principle here. So that's pretty much it for jig color. Keep them pretty simple. I know G-Man pretty much only throws a brown jig. But I kind of like to have a couple more options than that. But I do keep it pretty basic. That's just jig color. Now, whenever I get some different, if I want to add color to my jig, that's when I use the trailer. So I can take my regular green pumpkin mini mall. If I want to add, say you don't have the, that Okeechobee Craw color, grab you an Okeechobee Craw beaver. And again, you can get, these are from Riot. You can use that discount on these two. If you go to that link, you can thread on one of these Okeechobee Craw, and now you are effectively fishing the same thing as this. You know, it's the same thing. It's a green pumpkin blue. So that's how you can get around, not if you don't want to spend the money or, you know, whatever. And it makes sense, you know, if you want to just grab you throw you a blue, you can use a black and blue trailer. That'll work too. That works just as good. Because this has black in it. This has black, blue, and green pumpkin. So you could just as easily throw, honestly, if you wanted to replicate this mini mall jig, that's what I would put on it, as a black and blue jig, or black and blue trailer. Same way with your green pumpkins. You can get around not having that crazy color. You can throw this Riot color or a green pumpkin red flake. You can do this cool kiwi color. They're a green pumpkin, but they got like a bright green. I don't know if the camera's gonna, the light kind of washes it out pretty bad. Oh, there's one with a lot in there. Yeah, you still can't really see it. It's not a chartreuse. It's just a light kind of a lighter green, brighter green. These have got some orange in them. I like these for my brown jigs, but you can throw this on there and you know, kind of get a more brownish orange looking jig. So, you know, use your trailers to your advantage. You don't have to use a beaver style trailer. I don't always use one. I use a Tantrum just as much, which is your typical chunk trailer. That's also from Riot. If you're looking for a good jig trailer, definitely check out the Little Fuzzy and the Tantrum. They are the best in my opinion. That's all I throw on. So that's pretty much it for jig color. I didn't go into jigs. I didn't go into how to fish them because that's not what this is about. This video is all about the color, how to pick the colors that I have and why, and kind of the time and place to throw some of these. So I hope that helps. Again, if it did, you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe button. Helps the channel out. So alrighty, thank you guys. God bless.